Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Queen Mary of Denmark dazzled during her first appearance wearing the prestigious Pearl Poire tiara at a gala dinner held at Oslo's royal palace. This is one of the most cherished tiaras within the Danish royal family. I must confess, I eagerly anticipated Queen Mary's debut in this remarkable tiara, which possesses a rich history. Before we dive into the fascinating history of this iconic tiara, please support my channel by clicking the like and subscribe buttons. Thank you. Denmark is perhaps one of the most tiara-rich countries in Europe. Even among their vast collection of splendid jewels, a few tiaras stand out as particularly historically important. Among these, the Pearl Poire tiara is especially significant, as it highlights the maternal heritage of the country's monarch. The Pearl Poire tiara derives its name from the pear-shaped pearls that are suspended from the tiara's arched, diamond-set silver frame. La Poire is French for pear, and the Danes commonly refer to this piece as the Perlepoire diadem. The tiara is believed to have been made in Berlin around the year 1825. In May 1825, 199 years ago this month, 17-year-old Princess Louise of Prussia married her first cousin, 28-year-old Prince Frederick of the Netherlands. Louise's father, King Friedrich Wilhelm III of Prussia, and Frederick's mother, Princess Wilhelmina of the Netherlands, were siblings. The marriage had been planned for their children for several years. It is widely believed that, as a wedding present, King Friedrich Wilhelm bestowed a grand tiara upon his daughter. The tiara was accompanied by a matching brooch featuring 5 large pearl pendants. Princess Louise paired this valuable suite of jewelry with a pearl necklace, keeping the jewels in her collection until her death in 1870. An identical tiara and brooch were ordered by King Friedrich Wilhelm in 1830, when Prince Frederick's sister, Princess Marianne, married Prince Albert of Prussia. According to Jensen, Marianne's pearl tiara was inherited by her daughter, Princess Alexandrine, who married Duke Wilhelm of Mecklenburg-Schwerin. Alexandrine's daughter Charlotte is the last known owner of the twin tiara. Its current whereabouts remain a mystery. The Pearl Poire tiara and the Pearl Poire brooch were worn by Princess Louise for a portrait painted by Jean-Baptiste van der Hulst in 1836, alongside her daughter, Princess Louise, who later became the Queen of Sweden and Norway. In 1849, Prince Frederick and Princess Louise arranged the marriage of their eldest daughter, Princess Louise, to crown Prince Charles of Sweden. Sadly, it was not a happy marriage. Louise was deeply in love with Charles, but he reportedly did not find her attractive and treated her with disdain and neglect. In 1859, upon his father's death, the couple ascended to the throne as King Charles V and Queen Louise of Sweden and Norway. They had 2 children, but only one, Princess Lovisa, survived to adulthood. Meanwhile, back in the Netherlands, Princess Louise fell ill. In late 1870, Queen Louise traveled to be with her mother on her deathbed. Princess Louise passed away in December, and in her will, she left the Pearl Poire tiara to Queen Louise. However, due to unfortunate timing, Queen Louise caught pneumonia shortly after returning to Stockholm from her mother's bedside. Consequently, she never had the opportunity to wear the tiara, although she appears to wear the matching brooch in one of her portraits. The tiara was then appropriately passed to Queen Louise's only daughter, Princess Lovisa. Despite being the only surviving child of King Charles V, the Constitution of Sweden at the time prevented Lovisa from inheriting her father's throne. Instead, in 1869, she agreed to marry Crown Prince Frederick of Denmark. The tiara traveled with Crown Princess Lovisa to Copenhagen, remaining in Danish ownership ever since. Frederick and Lovisa became Denmark's king and queen in 1906. In Queen Lovisa's possession, the tiara became part of a matched parure along with other similar pieces of pearl and diamond jewelry. A large diamond brooch with 5 pearl pendants was made to match the tiara when it was originally created, and Lovisa inherited this brooch along with the tiara. She often wore both pieces with a pearl and diamond necklace received as a wedding gift from the Khedive of Egypt. 2 pearl pendants that were originally part of the necklace were later transformed into earrings. Another piece was added to this parure, a pearl and diamond cluster brooch, originally the clasp of an elaborate pearl necklace given to Lovisa as a wedding gift from Tsar Alexander III of Russia and his wife, Maria Feodorovna, born Princess Dagmar of Denmark, a sister of Lovisa's husband, Frederick. The entire set, now comprising the tiara, brooch, necklace, and earrings, is regarded as a married parure. The crown princess notably wore the pieces together as a married parure for the wedding of her son, Prince Karl of Denmark, later King of Norway, to his cousin, Princess Maud of Wales, in 1896. When drafting her will, Queen Lovisa designated the pearl poire parure as a special set for future generations of the Danish royal family. She bequeathed the jewels to the Danish Royal Property Trust, ensuring they would pass from monarch to monarch, primarily for the use of the Queen of Denmark. The next custodian of the pearl poire tiara and the Khedive of Egypt parure was Queen Alexandrine, who notably wore the parure for an official portrait and at the wedding ball of her son, Crown Prince Frederick of Denmark, to Princess Ingrid of Sweden at the Royal Palace of Stockholm in 1935, along with her diamond meander. Upon the death of Queen Alexandrine's husband, King Christian X, in 1947, the pearls were inherited by the new Queen Ingrid of Denmark. Queen Ingrid often wore the pearl poire tiara with the Khedive of Egypt parure for significant occasions. For more formal events, she would pair it with the Danish crown diamond parure. Before Queen Ingrid acquired the floral aigrette tiara, the pearl poire tiara and the Danish ruby parure were her only options for events outside Denmark, as the Danish emerald parure could not leave the country. Queen Ingrid's final appearance in the pearl poire tiara and the Khedive of Egypt parure occurred at a spectacular banquet hosted by the Shah of Iran and Empress Farah, celebrating the 2500th anniversary of the Persian Empire at Persepolis in October 1971, just a few months before King Frederick IX's death. Upon the accession of Queen Margrethe II in 1972, the pearl poire tiara, the Khedive of Egypt parure, and the pearl poire brooch were entrusted to the new queen. Queen Margrethe wore them for her first official portraits taken just weeks after her father's death. As Queen Margrethe's largest tiara at the time of her accession and one of only 2 tiaras she could take on foreign visits, the pearl poire tiara was worn on all of her initial official tours abroad. Throughout her reign, Queen Margrethe chose the tiara for some of the most important moments. In January 2024, after announcing her forthcoming abdication, she wore the suite one last time during the annual New Year's levee at Amalienborg. Now, the iconic pearls have been placed at the disposal of Margrethe's daughter-in-law, Queen Mary of Denmark. Notably, 20 years ago on the same day, Mary Elizabeth Donaldson arrived at Copenhagen's cathedral for her wedding to the Crown Prince of Denmark. On that day, Mary debuted in a petite diamond tiara gifted to her by her parents-in-law, Queen Margrethe II and Prince Henrik. Now, exactly 2 decades later, Queen Mary of Denmark has made her debut in another tiara, one with significant ties to the preceding queens of Denmark. Thank you for watching this video. Share your impressions in the comments and support my channel by subscribing and liking. Thank you.